I'd like to thank the Media Center for providing that service. As a courtesy to everyone, please take a moment and silence your cell phones or other electronic devices that might ring or beep during the meeting. Thank you. And now, as we always do, we will take a pledge of allegiance at the moment of silence at the conclusion of the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Copies of tonight's agenda and the entire information packet that the council will be using are available online on the city's website. And I believe there are also copies of the agenda there on that chair. There is one typo on the agenda related to item number 2, the date that's bolded that says Monday, May 22nd. That's a mistake. It should be August 28th. That sounds good. Fantastic. Okay, so get back here to where I was. All right. So the first thing I'd like to do is make a statement about the closed session that I just referred to, item number 2. At a closed meeting on August 28th, 2023, in accordance with the general provisions of Article Section 3-306C, subsection 2 of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and without objection, it is noted that the minutes of tonight's meeting reflect that the Common Council met in a closed session, in a closed meeting on August 28th, 2023 at 8:27 p.m. pursuant to the general provision, I apologize, I copied this twice in here. Section 3-305B, subsection 1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluations of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction. Any other personnel matters that affect one or more specific individuals. The following staff members were in attendance: City Administrator Imholz and Department of Public Works Acting Director Dick. The Common Council took official action during the meeting. The closed meeting adjourned at 8:45 p.m. We don't have our guest from McDaniel here, so we'll go ahead to, we don't have any presentations this evening. So we have 2 sets of minutes that I'd like to get approval for. One from the mayor and mayor's community meeting minutes of August 28th, 2023, and the mayor and common council meeting minutes of August 28th, 2023. Motion to approve. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, so the motion was made by Councilwoman Gilbert and seconded by Councilman Dayhoff. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 The ayes have it. Thank you very much. We have no public hearings. We have nothing on the consent calendar. It's going to be a quick meeting. Let's move right on to report from the mayor. Mayor Becker.
Thank you, sir. Now we're going to slow that down. So I do have a number of things that have gone on over the last 2 weeks. I just want to report on and some things coming up. On Thursday, August 31st, I had the honor of swearing in our newest police officer, Officer Jacob Everhart. It's always a great day to meet the new officers' families and see them welcomed into our police department. On Saturday, September 2nd, I enjoyed the Find Your Purposes Back to School event that was held in City Park. It was a really great time. They had a really nice crowd. I saw Council Member Kevin Dayhoff was there. Hopefully I don't miss anybody else if they were there. I got to read one of my favorite books, We Don't Eat Our Classmates, featuring Penelope the dinosaur to a group of young children. And it was well attended by several nonprofits. And Ting was there as well, assisting with the event. Tuesday, September 5th, I have a community meeting regarding Wakefield Valley Park and the clubhouse renovation. There was a small group attended, but they were happy to receive the information concerning the renovation of the clubhouse that's going to take place. Also on September 5th, I enjoyed the Carroll County Historical Society's event, Shaken and Stirred, featuring the history of Main Street and the Old City Garage that currently hosts Covalent Spirits. or Covalent Distillery on Main Street. It was really well attended. There was a great and lively crowd, and Jen and Drew made special drinks for the evening, as well as 4 separate presentations throughout the evening about the history of the building and of Main Street in that area. I'm thrilled about the clock tower, as is I think most of Westminster. I was driving to work one morning, 5:45. I hadn't realized they had turned it on. Drove by it, immediately went to the top of the Longwell parking garage and took some pictures of the lights. Lit purple at the time. I think it's still lit purple.
I like it.
I was gonna say, I want to see if we can light up orange for the Orioles here at least for a bit. And we'll get back to the Ravens for sure. But I noticed just today that all the scaffolding has been removed, so that makes that look, it just looks absolutely fantastic. And the comments from residents have just been really supportive of all that work that's taken place. While we have recently gotten some rain, thank goodness, I know we've all been celebrating up here, we're still urging residents within the water and sewer district of the city to conserve water. It's gonna take us a long time to catch back up to where we should be. And staff was out during the weekend distributing door hangers to residents about conservation. So I want to thank them for spending quite a bit of their time over the weekend helping out the city. School has started, so we're in the second week of public school. Last week went great, so just a reminder to please be careful and watch out for kids within the city on the roads in the morning as they go to get the buses and as they're dropped off in the afternoon. And finally, I can't let today pass without recognizing the significance of September 11th. In 2001, on September 11th, I was living abroad at the time, and just after 1 p.m., I'll never forget when colleagues were running down the hall and came into my office and had said, "You need to turn the news on." I had just moved from Long Island to the UK and had several close friends living and working at the World Trade Center and in Lower Manhattan. It hit a little differently being abroad. We didn't have a TV, so that afternoon we spent in our local pub with all of our neighbors watching the news. But what I do remember and what held true when we came home later that summer for a visit was the residents of the United States coming together that day and afterwards. And as we take some time today to reflect on September 11th and remember and honor those who lost their lives that day, I want to just note I'm especially thankful to all first responders and those that risk their lives every day without question to save the lives of others. Mr. President, back to you.
Very well said, Madam Mayor. Thank you very much. It's, good words there. Okay, we'll move on to reports from standing committees. We'll start off with the Arts Council, Councilman Dayhoff.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are continuing our work on the strategic planning committee. As a matter of fact, they're meeting this evening. We had a great event over the weekend. Billy Live and his band was in concert. It was well attended. It went really well. That's my report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dayhoff. Economic and Community Development, Councilman Huff.
The only thing I will note is that we're starting, for the rest of the council's benefit, we're starting to look at our rental licensing program and possibly making some updates and changes to it. But that'll be a multi-meeting. Will take a while, but eventually you will see the fruits of that labor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Finance Committee, Councilman Pecoraro is not present while you're listening to me instead of him right now. So there is no report. I'm the vice on that committee and I do not have a report. So we'll move right on to Personnel Committee. And that is also Councilman Pecoraro. Yep, Councilwoman Gilbert, do you have anything personnel?
I have nothing for personnel.
Okay. Public Safety, that is me. So on September 1st, 2023, police recruit Jacob Everhart graduated from the Maryland Police and Correctional Training Police Academy with honors. He received the Academy Award for the police recruit with the highest overall academic grade point average, and he also received the Firearms Marksmanship Award for the overall highest marksmanship qualification scores. which I like very much. Police Officer Everhart has started his field training and evaluation and is doing well, which I know is good news for the chief. One more guy out there doing a job, so I'm real happy to hear that. Sounds like he had quite the success in the academy. Please pass on my congratulations to him if you would, Chief. Certified Police Officer Dana Jackson will complete his field training and evaluation program tomorrow and will assume solo duties in patrol. On 9/11, Chief Ledwell presented a quarterly update. So that would be today, Chief. Sorry about that. Yep. An update for the Carroll County Police Accountability Board, which is a new board that the chief has to go and do these updates for on a quarterly basis. I'd like to commend the police department. They made an arrest for an individual who was doing some pretty lewd things out at Walmart. And I'm sure a lot of you saw the press release on that. So they did a good job arresting that individual, and we'll see what happens relative to prosecution. Lastly, I'd like to thank the police department for the help that they gave assisting East Middle with their opening. I got some feedback from a couple people in the school system that said that having some of our officers around that first week was really helpful. And Chief, I'd like to say thanks for that. Please pass it along to the individuals that were out there helping with that. It was pretty chaotic and probably still will be through the rest of this semester. I think at the beginning of next semester, they're going to have a lot more of the throughway open, so it should settle down. But I wanted to say thank you for the help that you gave there. Okay. Moving back to the next report would be Public Works of Councilwoman Gilbert.
The mayor has already spoke about the clock tower. As everyone noticed and she noted, the scaffolding has come down or is coming down. And the bell will soon start ringing, and I'll let Mr. Dick talk more about the ringing of the bell in greater detail. The Public Works Department and other city staff distributed approximately 10,000 informational door hangers to encourage all users of Westminster City Water System to conserve water use. The door hanger identifies big and small ways for residents and businesses to decrease their personal water use. There's a QR code, I believe, is there a sample? I think I saw here. There is our sample of our door tool. A QR code was also included, which links to the city website and offered additional helpful suggestions. We encourage everyone to conserve water as every drop counts. Last week, the streets department staff set up the main stage of the city park to prepare for the 44th annual Fall Fest. That is kind of hard to believe. We have had 44 years of Fall Fest. The streets department started preparation a few weeks ago, and it is in full swing to assist the recreation and parks department with setup and implementation for this entire event, which includes probably almost everyone of our city staff, just about. So we will be getting ready for that very shortly. And that is all I have for Public Works.
All right, Councilwoman Gilbert, why don't you just roll right on?
We'll keep rolling. So Parks and Rec, the annual Pooch Pool Party was held on September 6th. I am so sorry I missed that, along with a lot of the other events. But I was enjoying the view of the Niagara Falls that day. But that was at the Westminster Municipal Pool from 4 to 7 p.m. The event attracted over 80 dogs and approximately 115 owners and visitors. And this year's Pooch Party raised $300 in cash donations, plus generous donations such as food, treats, towels, blankets, and paper towels. I'm assuming that all went to Carroll County to the Humane Society. Yes. So thank you to everyone who participated and donated. Fall Fest, as I just said, is right around the corner, September 21st to the 24th. New this year, don't miss the high-flying trampoline show with performances on Saturday, September 23rd at noon, 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. in front of the main entertainment stage. Other entertainment happening during Fall Fest will be from 7 to 10 on Thursday, $20 profit. 7 to 10 on the 22nd, which is Friday, the Reagan years. So grab your fire pit to watch. September 23rd, from 12:30 to 1:30, Milkshake Trio, which is a kids rock band sponsored by the Carroll County Arts Council. And then from 7 to 10, Last Child, which is an Aerosmith tribute band. And on Sunday, the 24th, from every hour from 12 to 5 will be Footnotes, Marilyn Tangsodu, I hope I did not kill that name. Synergy Space Dance Studio, Carroll County Dance Center, Carroll County Cloggers, and Project C Studios. And that is all I have, which is quite enough.
All right. Technology Committee, Councilman Dayhoff.
Your report, thank you.
Okay, we will now move on to council comments. So let's see, Ms. Gilbert, have anything?
Oh, here.
You're on such a roll.
I'm gonna be pretty quick. All I want to do is point out the Westminster Fire Department open house. There's this lovely flyer for those of you who want to see it. Saturday, October 7th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. will be an open house along with the 250th?
200.
200, okay, I was giving them 50 extra years. 200th anniversary of the Westminster Fire Department. It will kick off with a parade, and then there will be children's activities, fire prevention, museum tours, fire equipment, all that kind of good stuff. So please keep that in mind for that particular day.
Very much, Councilman Dayhoff, any comments?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the parade's gonna be a big deal. A lot of folks from Mid-Atlantic region are going to be in town for that parade. Mr. Kabachi, do you have a report for the opening, the tour that we got at East Middle School?
It was fantastic.
I'll yield to you.
No, go ahead. You
It
were
was a
there.
great tour.
Yeah.
It was a great tour, and it was noted the leadership of Mr. Kabachi and helping us make sure that that school was located in town. I believe that's where schools need to be located in town. It was a good tour. I believe that'll be my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Mr. Hopper.
I don't have much for a report. The only thing I will mention or say is, like the mayor, I'm very excited, like the rest of us, for the clock tower and seeing the scaffolding come down, and I will be very excited for the grand opening sometime in October. So anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, I have just a couple quick things. One, I just wanted to echo, I think it was maybe the mayor that talked about staff handing out the door hangers. I just wanted to echo that. It was great that they stepped up and took that opportunity to get out there and do that. And we're grateful for Ms. Inhalls for her leadership, getting that thrown together in a pretty short period of time and getting it done and getting it out onto everyone's door. I mean, I know both of my residents and my office building, we had them by the time I went there Monday morning, so this morning was great. So thank you for that. I'd also quickly like to just make a quick comment. Mr. Dick is newly appointed as our Director of Public Works, and I think we were all excited about that happening, but I just wanted to comment on the amount of positive feedback I have received recently on the job that you're doing. I've heard quite a few very positive comments about your leadership and how you've really taken the reins and just seem to be doing a fantastic job. And you can see it just in some of the things that are going on, but I'm also hearing it from folks. So I just wanted to take a moment and compliment you on, it's a big responsibility. I mean, it's an enormous department with a lot of behind the scenes stuff that frankly, most people don't even think about. When you turn the water on, you just hope water comes out. When you drive down the street, you hope your car doesn't crash into a giant pothole, and all that kind of stuff. You hope the trash gets picked up and you don't have garbage all over your backyard. So there are the things that you oversee that are critical to the operation of the city, and so far could not be doing a better job. So I just wanted to say thank you and wonderful work. That's all I have for council comments. Let's move on to next item. We don't have any ordinance or resolutions. We do have this out of order here. So we do have one bid this evening. Is that how it's ordered in the?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
I
apologize.
think we're on unfinished business.
I'm sorry?
I think we're on unfinished business.
We don't have any, well, I have unfinished business next. See, I think I must have this out of order, and I apologize. I have bids in the wrong place. Unfinished business, we don't have any. New business, I don't have any. So we have one bid, if I'm not mistaken, and that's to the award of a bid for S&B and Company LLC for audit and financial reporting services. So that will be Ms. Rogers or you, Ms. Amos?
Yes, sir. Ms. Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. President. The city engaged Brown, Schultz, Sheraton, and Fritch CPAs for audit and financial reporting services for fiscal years 2019 through 2022. Whereas best practice dictates that periodic audit firm rotation can positively affect audit quality, the city posted an RFP for audit and financial reporting services on August 2nd of 2023, requesting a proposal for fiscal years 2023 through 2025 or 3 years. 4 bids were received, and a summary of the bids is listed on the staff memo. We received a bid from LSCPA LLC from Hyattsville, Maryland. They bid $11,000 for all 3 years. We received another bid from Lindery and Company International LLC based out of Laurel, Maryland. They bid $25,500 for all 3 years, each year, I should say. S&B Company based out of Owings Mills, Maryland bid the following for 2023, $45,000, 2024, $47,500, and 2025, $50,000. And finally, Perry and Associates CPAs based out of Marietta, Ohio bid $57,900 for 2023, $59,200 for 2024, and $61,500 for 2025. After careful review of these bids, 2 were discarded due to the submission of incomplete bid packages. The 2 remaining firms, SB and Company LLC and Perry and Associates CPAs, were evaluated based on several criteria: qualifications, relevant experience, references, overall cost, and overall value for proposed cost. Staff performed due diligence and confirmed that SB and Company LLC is very well known in Maryland. Their references were positive, noting they're great to work with. They maintain communication throughout the engagement. Staff assigned to audits are appropriate for the work, and clients have found they add value in ways beyond the audit and financial reporting process. SB and Company LLC has an extensive list of governmental clients, and they are experienced with single audits and housing and urban development, both of importance to the city. Of the 2 firms being considered, their bid is the most competitive. Finally, they described their approach to the audit as including significant partner and manager presence on site with frequent and ongoing communication. They utilize a top-down approach that places a premium on their ability to develop a thorough understanding of the city. Their approach is more hands-on, actively engaging with management to identify areas of most importance to the city while minimizing demands on city staff. This would be a welcome approach to the traditional audit that's often laden with questionnaires, checklists versus engagement and discussion. The FY24 operating budget includes $60,000 for accounting and audit fees. Therefore, the FY24 proposed costs from SB and Company, which I mentioned were $45,000, are fully funded in the FY24 budget. Staff is recommending that the mayor and common council approve the award of a bid to SB and Company LLC for audit and financial reporting services. For any questions you may have.
Anyone have any questions?
I have a question.
So is the, my mistake, let's go ahead and get a motion and then we can discuss the topic. I apologize. So can I get a motion to approve the bid?
I'll make that motion.
Councilman Dayhoff made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Councilwoman Gilbert seconded. Now we'll go ahead and have a discussion. Sorry about that, Councilman. Go ahead.
No problem. I just want to clarify. So we received numbers for all 3 years, but tonight here, we're just approving it for this year. Is that correct?
We're awarding a bid, which is a 3-year bid. There's enough money in the budget this year, so we write those contracts so that it says on an ongoing basis that as long as there's enough money in the budget for next year.
Okay, so will this have to come back to us then for next year or not necessarily? Because we've already,
It'll come back to you in the form of the budget. So we'll budget, assuming you award this tonight, we'll budget next year 47,500, which is the amount that they are proposing for next year.
so I just want to clarify, we have the ability, I would assume, if for some reason we were not happy, with the, because when you do audit services like this, a lot of times, no offense to the audit world, they make a lot of promises and our actual experience could be different than what we think we're going to be getting. So if for some reason we are unhappy with the services that we are receiving, we have some ability to recalibrate at that point in time. Is that correct?
We do, we would cancel the contract in that case. I would say, though, it does take a while to establish a relationship with an auditor. The first year, like any first year of any other position, is a little bit of learning for both sides. So it would be something very egregious for me to want to recommend canceling the contract, but it would be an option, as it is in almost all of the contracts that we have.
Okay, I just wanted a little bit of clarity on that.
Sure.
Thank you. I think that's my only question.
Anyone else have anything? No. I'll look down on that. You guys just here to observe. You'll have an opportunity at the end of the meeting, under citizens' comments, if you'd like to say something. So Ms. Rogers, just great that it's coming in under budget, glad to see that. And I'm sure we probably budgeted similar amounts on the out years, so that'll be good to see that adjust down to these figures here, so good work, and hopefully these guys work out well, assuming we approve it. Anyone else have anything?
Mr. President, I have another question. The two bids that were eliminated, I'm assuming based on the pricing, part of the elimination was that they did not understand the exact assignment that they were doing as far as what services they were covering when you said the bids are incomplete, or?
So we didn't actually get to that level of review because the bids were literally not completed per the instructions of the bid document.
Gotcha.
Step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this. If you
Okay.
skip step 2, your bid is invalidated. You have to follow up instructions.
Okay, understand. Okay, so we didn't get to that point of digging, but I would assume with the kind of numbers that we're talking about here, it just seemed unusually low, the one, please.
There's a big difference.
Okay.
Why maybe they didn't follow the instructions the way we would want that to.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we'll go ahead and call the question. So can I go ahead and get a vote on the motion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, so the ayes have it, and we will move forward. I think our next item is reports from department heads, Ms. Imhoff.
Thank you, sir. Let's start with Councilmember Jayhoff. Is there any report from the fire department?
No report.
All right, we'll move then to the police department. Chief Ledwell.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Wanted to tell you that Sergeant Laser, Sergeant Ecker, and Officer Hall are currently attending accident reconstruction school. And what that'll mean is that there's actually several phases to that. And each phase you go through allows you to investigate more serious accidents. So currently, we don't have anybody on staff to do that, so we rely on other agencies to come in and do those investigations. So they're attending that currently. Major Price is attending the Maryland Chiefs of Police Association Professional Development Conference through Wednesday. And they also offer an Aspiring Leaders track now. This is, I think, the third year they've offered it, which I really liked the agenda the last 2 years. I thought that they're very practical skill set teaching for individuals who are moving up the ladder that we're preparing for the next level. We asked for interest, and Lieutenant Arnold and Lieutenant Donovan expressed interest, so they are currently attending also through Wednesday. And that cost is the lodging and meals are covered by the MCPA. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions for me.
Chief, one quick thing. So we're sending 3 to the TEA, well, I don't know if they still call it that, but to the Traffic Accident Investigation School. Is part of that, so I oversaw a traffic accident investigation section when long time ago. And it was a tough school. I mean, we would send guys and they didn't all make it through.
lot of math.
Part of the reason we're sending 3 is hoping to get at least 1 or 2 of them through it, or?
So there's a team in the county, they
Okay.
work as a team. And they had 2 openings current on the team.
Okay.
With anticipated openings in the future. So as we send our officers through the training and they get the certifications, then they're eligible to join the team. So we currently have 2 accepted on the team. One would be up to bat next, should there be an opening. So, and then each level, you do more formulas and calculations.
It's crazy.
Although now they have a lot of software and
We didn't have that.
aerodynamics that map the scene. There's no more rolling the rollers and.
It's slot rules. Seriously? Yeah. Good. All right. Well, that's great. Well, good. That's exciting for them. I know that the officers are always looking for opportunities to educate themselves and learn more. So I'm glad they're able to get out there and do that. Hopefully they'll do well with it. Go ahead, Mr. Moss.
All right, we will move on to the finance department. Ms. Rogers? Let's go to Ms. Teresa.
Sorry, thank you, Ms. Imhoff. Just a quick report and, thank you for the approval of the bid for SD and Company. I do anticipate that by the end of this week, I will be working with them to begin audit planning and so they can map out our engagement. And the finance office is working, preparing for that audit now. That's the end of my report.
Any questions for the finance director? Hearing none, we will move on to the planning director.
Thank you.
Sudipta.
Good evening. On September 5th, the Board of Zoning Appeals approved two special exception applications, one for a home occupation at 231 Stacy Lee Drive and one for a conversion dwelling at 160 West Main Street. On September 6th, the Historic District Commission discussed ongoing planning of the nation's 250th anniversary. They reviewed a proposed exterior renovations of a second floor deck enclosure at 118 Pennsylvania Avenue and approved 2 post-construction applications for historic rehabilitation property tax credits for 72 West Green Street. This was a residential addition, interior renovations, and 116 to 120 East Main Street. That is Covalent Spirits. And on September 21st, the Planning and Zoning Commission is tentatively scheduled to hear the Cannabis Overlay Map Amendment Ordinance 2023-06 and the Art Gallery Studio Text Amendment Ordinance 2023-07. And that completes my reports. I'm available for any questions.
Are there any questions for the planning director? Hearing none, we will move on to the housing department. Mr. Brown.
Thank you. Good evening. What we've been spending a lot of time on is looking at the code as it relates to real other property maintenance improvements. So we're continuing our work on that, and as we get more in depth into it and with our discussions, then you'll hear more from us in terms of what some recommendations might be. But excited about it and look forward to completing the process. That's all I have.
Thanks. Any questions for the housing department? Hearing none, we will move on. As you see, the part of Mr. Barber is being played tonight by our IT director. Our city clerk has joined the Carroll Leadership Carroll program, and today is their kickoff weekend retreat thing. So he's there with them. Yeah, he will enjoy that. That's such a great program. All right, so we will move on to the IT department. Mr. Moore.
Good evening. Very short, coming off a very busy August, it's our busiest month in a couple of years that we've had ticket-wise and project-wise. Continue to support behind the scenes and continue our initiatives and audits and things like that, just staying busy on our side. That's my report.
I would echo, August feels like it has been one of the busiest months as well, which is odd since a lot of people are on vacation. I think the tickets definitely show what the departments are doing as well. Are there any questions for the IT department? Hearing none, we will move on to the Public Works Department. We've heard tonight about the clock tower. Before anyone forgets, I just want to remind everybody that the grand opening of the clock tower is going to be at 5 p.m. on October 21st with a big Back to the Future theme with the clock tower and everything.
back to the future day.
I still haven't seen this movie, but I will
You
by
have
then.
not watched it?
I'm the last person.
We can all have popcorn and watch it then.
Apparently I can watch it at the fitness center.
Yeah, we'll watch it the other day.
That's good now. All right, so we will move on to the Public Works Department, Mr. Dick.
Thank you, Ms. Imhoff. So I'll start off real quick with the clock tower. Once again, it's all wrapped up. You see all the scaffolding's gone. They're doing final cleanup. We'll have a final walkthrough, I believe is tomorrow, Thursday. Some people got to hear the bell ring a little bit. They are coming back tomorrow. They are out of Wisconsin. After about a full day of it ringing properly, all of a sudden we started getting different chimes for the time.
Then my text started going off nonstop.
So we immediately turned the clock off so we didn't have that issue anymore. And we got a hold of the clock people who they received many pictures from the contractor and they feel that they know what's going on and they're gonna be here tomorrow morning to get that running. They will be here for a full 2 days, my understanding, to make sure that once it's running, it continues to run properly. So other than that, it looks great. Especially at nighttime, as you all said, it really looks different, even though it's not that different. The other thing I want to mention is we're going to get straight from that into the water main project. It's going to start this Thursday, I believe. They're going to start cutting the road up, making their saw cuts. That will be at the intersection of Longwell and East Main. Once I have more of a construction schedule, we have a timeline right now. It looks like water cutoffs for that phase 2 section won't be till the beginning of October sometime. Once we get closer and we get more of a specific date, we will be in contact with all the business owners and building owners for that cooperation of turning the water onto the temporary line. Rather than that, between the storms that we've been getting and cleaning up after those, which seems to be about every 3 days now, we are taking care of manhole repairs, storm grate repairs, and actually doing a lot of painting from the list I have. We've painted the tennis court at JC Clark. We've painted curves out in the Meadow Creek development and painted the lobby at the police station. So we are busy and Fall Fest is here. That is all I have.
I just want to add that for the water main project, on the front page of the city's website under quick links, the IT director department has set up a quick link for the water main project. So all updates will be there, including the phone number if there's some crisis that you need to reach out to a staff member, which will be Mr. Dick. His phone number is on that flyer there as well. You could reach out to him. Other questions for Mr. Dick?
I do have a question, just kind of more of a curiosity. Could you talk a little bit about the lighting for the clock tower? Because I was kind of curious. I did see the purple, which is cool for the Ravens. So we have the ability to change the color pretty easily.
Yeah, so in the past, we had 4 made in-house light systems, floodlights off each corner, lighting up the clock tower that we would manually change out every time we decided we wanted to light it a different color. With the rebuild, we went with LEDs, which are shining on the outside, and on the internal part, looking through the glass is where the LEDs are. There's 4 bulbs in there that have an array of colors that they can cycle through. We can program them to do 2 different colors, fade from one color to another. So we have quite the flexibility, not to give anybody any ideas of changing colors in the clock tower. Right now it's purple, I guess because of the Ravens, they just set it for purple. But then we'll be changing that to whatever color I'm instructed to change it.
Yeah, that is wonderful because it gives you a lot of flexibility and you have a lot of fun with it over the coming months for different holidays. So very, very cool. Smart thinking that people thought about that because that's cool. I have,
We could celebrate our Orioles and our Ravens all at the same time.
If 2 colors changing, that's it. I have one question for you, related to the water main replacement. So on the notification to the businesses, one, what are you thinking in terms of advance notice to them? Are we talking a day, a couple days, a week? What do you think?
I'm gonna push for it to be more than a week
Yeah, I think that's good.
as they construct this, because the biggest part for the bypass is getting the intersection done.
Yeah.
So if there's any delays at the intersection, that's gonna push dates that we already told the different phases for the bypass. The way the weather's going, I can't say that we may or may not have any issues, but once that happens, they get the bypass, it'll happen really quickly. And we had a meeting, well, we're having a meeting, I believe, tomorrow with them to discuss the importance of conveying those timeframes. And we're probably gonna have bi-weekly meetings now, just so that we can make sure we have the most up-to-date information on the website and getting it out to everybody.
So, and then following up with that, two other quick things. Number one, how long, once it's shut, what's the anticipated time period that it's gonna be off?
So that's gonna be part of my first meeting, depending how many crews they have working. The typical shut off to get it switched over to the bypass is probably about a half hour.
Okay, so not
Somewhere around there.
a tremendous amount of time,
So,
but that's if everything goes perfect and there's
Oh, it
no
will.
issues. Good. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Anybody else have any questions? Some hold back to you.
Thank you. I just wanted to also mention that in addition to the QR code, which Councilmember Gilbert mentioned for the water conservation efforts, the IT department has put a quick link page on the front page of the city's website that takes you to the same place that the QR code has, in case you lost your flyer. You just go to the city's website and there's a quick link there that gives additional tips and tricks in order to try to save some water. And to those employees that are listening right now, we had 34 employees volunteer to help distribute 10,000 door tags, and also one former employee come volunteer to do that. So it was a very, very, very hot day on Saturday. A lot of people put in a lot of miles. Turns out it's quite a hilly city, more so than I think I realized in my vehicle. But we couldn't have done that without this amazing staff that we have. A lot of them came from the Public Works Department, which is why I'm mentioning right now during Public Works staff. Again, they volunteered to participate in this event. We also had some participants from the Planning Department as well. I was so proud, honestly. I was just so proud to be out there with everybody and to have them out there. So for those listening, thank you. Couldn't have happened without you. And thank you to Mr. Dick and to Steve Strasburg and the Streets Department and Zach Amos, of course, who helped coordinate the massive effort in order to get all those, get everybody into teams and get everything distributed in an orderly fashion. So that concludes the Public Works report, and we will move on to the Recreation and Parks Department. I want to congratulate the department on an excellent season with the new city pool that ended with the, what's it called, Pooch, Pool with the Pooch, otherwise known as Dad with the Dog, or whatever we remember to call it. So Ms. Gruber, can you round us out, please?
Sure, good evening. Thank you. Yes, we are thrilled that we've had another successful summer serving many children in our summer camp program, and additionally bringing our community pool back online, which certainly is an asset to the Westminster citizens. So we're moving briskly on to fall now. Fall Fest is only 10 days away. I think we've talked about that enough this evening. So the full schedule and all of the details are found on westminsterfallfest.com. So anyone that's listening can find ride ticket and wristband prices there, the entertainment schedule that Councilwoman Gilbert announced this evening, and all of the other festivities that are going on during those 4 days. So please visit that website, and please visit us at Fall Fest, September 21st through 22nd, or 24th, I'm sorry. I wish it were 2 days. And I'd like to, before I conclude my report, I'd like to move on to celebrate a decision that this council made about 2.5 years ago, when I came to you and asked permission to line our city park tennis courts as pickleball courts. And we have really grown this pickleball community, and those courts are highly utilized, and it has led to some very substantial programming that is now running out of the Recreation and Parks Department. And it's also led to higher utilization of the gymnasium in the Armory. You could believe we could squeeze any more programming into that gym. We have. We've found time in the middle of the day where this population is available to play, and we've lined courts inside. We've managed to get 3 courts lined in our indoor gymnasium. So they play in there 2 days during the week, 1 evening through the week, they're playing indoors. So that's 3 times a week they're playing indoors. And they are playing nonstop outdoors on the city park tennis courts. It has led into spring, summer, and fall pickleball leagues that are happening in the park. It has led to pickleball programming, lessons for adults to learn to play, lessons for adults to refine their skills, lessons for children to introduce them to the sport. And then it has also led to 2 tournaments. We started with one, our Pickle in the Park tournament in June, and we've now just added a new addition to our pickleball programming. We will be holding a Veterans Day tournament. It will be held indoors outside of the city limits to find a facility that's actually big enough to host this 2-day tournament on November 11th and 12th. It will be held at Dill Dinkers, which is a new pickleball facility in Carroll County. And the proceeds of this particular tournament are going to benefit the Lost Mountain Group. And the Lost Mountain Group is the only organization in the Mid-Atlantic region rescuing retired military working dogs and placing them with veterans at no cost to the veteran. And since the inception of this group, the Lost Mountain Group has paired over 34 canine companions with veterans. And so the proceeds that are coming out of our Veterans Day tournament will be benefiting this worthy organization. So you were the catalyst for all of that by saying yes to putting some new paint and some new lines down on some underutilized tennis courts. So I just want to say thank you. And that ends my report.
Are there any questions for the Recreation Parks Director?
I think all the physical therapists and orthopedic surgeons in the area should be sending donations to your.
I'm sponsoring this tournament.
Yeah,
So.
I'm sure they are. Yeah, I'm sure they are.
And that concludes the report, the departmental reports.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go ahead to the last item on the agenda, and that's citizens' comments. This is where we invite the public to address the mayor and council on any issues pertaining to tonight's agenda or any other issue that they may have. When you're going to make your comment, please state your name and your address and phone number. We don't need a phone number with your comment. And just to make sure everyone's clear, the citizen comments are an opportunity for you to speak to us. It's not a dialogue where we're going to have a conversation on anything. We'll listen to what you have to say, confer with staff, and get back to you if it requires a response. And we'd also ask you to keep your comments succinct as possible. So at this point in time, I'd like to open it up for any citizen comments. If anybody would like to say anything? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've got to find them on Facebook, right? Okay, my name's Donna Robinson. I live at 33 Cypress Point Court. And I'm here actually representing our HOA.
Which HOA is that?
Eagle View Estate, yeah.
Thank you.
So we had somebody back in April that contacted, they said it was Mr. Dayhoff that they contacted, and then they about the exit of their community from Tahoma Farm out onto Uniontown Road, and how the traffic is such, you know, it's very poor visibility there for cars crossing over either way, either coming, I don't know my directions, so coming from, say, 140 side into our community or going from our community out towards 140. They have a lot of cars, like in the mornings during school, there's a lot of cars that line down Uniontown Road. And it's very hard to get out there. And so when they said that they had spoke to, and that's what I was trying to find, there was they were contacted by the police department, and it was somebody that had traffic control that they spoke to, but he never got back to them. after he originally spoke to them, and they were supposed to be doing a traffic study to check out the traffic, they were told that, they couldn't do a four-way stop there because the road was too busy. So they were just kind of wondering if anything has been discussed with it or who else they could reach out to about the.
So as I said, we won't get into a discussion on it, but I would like to get some contact information so that the chief or whoever it would be can get back to someone. So would that
Okay.
be you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so at the conclusion of the meeting, if you wouldn't mind giving your information to the chief, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And I'd like to thank Mr. Dick for a couple meetings ago, we were here and I had asked him about getting, 3 months I tried to get a recycling bin. And they just never were sending it to me. I contacted the company and I spoke to him in 3 days. It was in my framework. I was like, I'm happy.
Wonderful. And, anyone else? Okay, if no one else has any comments, we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Our next meeting will be on Monday, September 28th, and without objection, we are adjourned.